Hello guys, and welcome to another cooking episode. Now, I know it's been a couple of days since I filmed something, well, the things that I want to cook right now, I don't really have space to store them, so I'm going to do a little something different today. There's not going to be any actual cooking in this episode. Instead, what I'm making is tuna salad. Now, I make my tuna salad a very specific way. And I will show you as I make this. As you can see, I'm reaching into the cabinet behind the camera to grab out stuff. And I will be disappearing for a moment here in just a bit to go grab my stuff out of the fridge. Be right back. And I'm back here. So what I've grabbed off camera is one onion, one of my red carrots, one of my yellow carrots or parsnip, celery, and unfortunately the celery is not from my friends at the VA. It's the only bad side about it. And I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything. Now, normally there's a couple of other things I add into this recipe that I've been deciding not to add in on this episode. I may choose to make this again in the future and show you guys. However, today, what I normally add in are black olives and dill pickles, but I'm not adding those. Recycle. Cutting board. Drinking orange juice straight from the jug. Now for this recipe, I've already shown you the celery, yummy celery, mostly fresh, the yellow carrot, the red carrot, the onion, 2 large cans of tuna, dillweed, and curry powder, as well as a binding agent. Despite the fact that I don't really like this binding agent, it is the best binding agent that I found for this tuna salad recipe. I've tried using plain yogurt. It didn't taste right to me. This has a very specific taste, and using the other stuff it didn't flow right. It didn't feel right. So what I'm using today is the Kraft Mayo, real Mayo. Yum. I don't like mayonnaise. I really don't like mayonnaise. If I could find something else to bind this all together in the bowl, I would. So we need our knife, which looks like it's over here today. Somebody's been moving it around. Just like somebody's been using your stuff but not putting it back. I'm going to need one of these though. Our knife, my preferred knife, missing other knives, stirring implement, knife sharpener, large spoon. Now, the knives to cut up, well, clearly what the knife's for, and what the stirrer's for, that's to mix everything together. But the large spoon is how I measure my mayonnaise. Usually, as you'll notice, this is a fairly big, large spoon, as opposed to a regular teaspoon. So you guys will have to guesstimate as well as I am. So here we go, sharpening the knife. Proper knife sharpening, you need roughly 35-degree angle, and you need to go both sides. Now, it's recommended you do 3 on one side, then 3 on the other. However, I find that 1 for 1 tends to work just as well. Now, occasionally, this kind of sharpener is not going to cut it. This is really only a honer, and it's only really designed to put a fresh edge. Eventually, you are going to want to take your knife to a professional sharper so you can grind out a fresh set of edge for you to apply onto your knife. Now that we put a fresh edge on, it's also a good idea to wipe the blade down. That way there's no iron, steel or whatever the blade's made out of filings on it that can get into the food and hurt you. Okay, so we're going to save the onion for last. Grab out a can opener for the tuna. Pop and open the tuna cans here. Now, before we actually get the tuna out of the can, I like to drain off the tuna juice as it's not necessary and only if interacts poorly with the mayonnaise. So we take our tuna, and we dig it out of the bowl. The more liquid you can squeeze out of the cans, the better. However, if you are choosing to make this recipe with a tuna packet, they already come pre-squeezed. They don't really have that much tuna juices extra in them. I'd prefer to use the tuna packets, but they are expensive. These were $99, whereas a tuna packet's almost $2.50. Gotta rinse that out before I can toss it in recycling. Now, I'd say each of these is the equivalent of 2, 2.5, maybe 3 smaller cans of tuna. So that's why I'm only using 2 and not 6 cans of tuna like I normally use for this recipe. There's my second can open. And I'm going to strain this off. Probably should add a bit. Wish I had a bit more tuna to add to that. Doesn't look like enough tuna, but it should take enough with the rest of everything else I'm going to add into it. Just personal observation.